Welcome back, my friends, to more Disco Elysium. I'm going to be cleaning up a lot of stuff again in this episode. In the last one, I was basically double-checking, making sure I hadn't missed anything. I found a few things along the way which were pretty exciting. I'm going to continue doing that in this episode towards the Fisherman District. Should advance the storyline as well, I think, because I'm still looking for Ruby around that area. And then, I do want to start out this episode by reading one of the books that I picked up in the last episode, because I did buy a lot of books. I read Dick Mullen book here, so I read that one. Now, let me read this one. I think I'm just going to go in order now. So let me check out the book Medicinal Purposes of the Pale. A small green book giving off a peculiar foreboding impression, although it's hard to figure out why. It describes the various ways of healing debilitating ailments through the use of pale, some of which sounds implausible at best.
Medicinal Purposes of the Pale. The cover of this heavy tome features a number of esoteric symbols.
Let's open the book.
Flipping through the book, you find a number of sections on the general benefits of the pale. A large pharmacopoeia makes up nearly half of the book.
What's a pharmacopoeia?
You come across the following explanation. While modern pharmacopoeia are continually updated by so-called experts based on the results of clinical trials, readers will find assembled here the timeless wisdom relied upon by generations of traditional Seolite medicine practitioners, Mesk mystics, and Ilmaran folk doctors. It's all quackery, in other words. Finally, something to calm the angry spirits that have been plaguing you. It seems to contain descriptions of the medicinal properties of various ingredients that may be gathered from the pale, as well as instructions for producing a variety of herbal remedies.
Is there anything in there about restoring lost memories?
There are a number of Seolite tonics that promise to improve your short-term memory, but nothing that speaks to your condition.
I just want something that will soothe the relentless torment of my existence.
What you're describing is booze. You don't need any herbs for that.
Anything about curing an apocalyptic hangover?
There's nothing in here that speaks to hangovers directly. However, while browsing through the various descriptions, you become convinced that you could assemble something from the ingredients listed here. Want to give it a shot?
Alright, book. Let's see what you got. Hopefully that sound effect I made with my hands went through.
First, you need to choose a base ingredient.
Ginger root.
Next, you'll need to combine the base ingredient with an appropriate vehicle.
Mix it with a dram of whiskey.
Lastly, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Some wild ginseng root.
The tincture you've invented sounds intriguing, but its medicinal value is suspect, to say the least. Safe to say it won't cure your hangover. Whoever wrote this never heard of the hair of the dog. Fuck this book. See if there's a bar open that'll still serve you. Would you like to try again?
See, now it makes me think that if I do the right combination here, I could get something. Yeah, let's try again.
Very well. First, choose a base ingredient.
So I think I'm going to go in a systematic manner. So I'm going to do the ginger root.
Next, you'll need to combine the base ingredient with an appropriate vehicle.
And then I'll again mix it with a dram of whiskey.
Lastly, is there anything else you'd like to add?
And then a spoonful of sugar.
You've created a delicious tincture of whiskey and ginger. According to the pharmacopoeia, it should increase your energy and focus, though, in your experience, it's only done the opposite. If only you could find one of these right now and drink the shit out of it. The book said it's good for you, so it would be okay. Would you like to try again?
All right, let me try one more time here.
Very well. Next, you'll need to... Lastly, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Let's finish out the branch tree here with a few pomegranate seeds.
You've created a delicious tincture of whiskey and ginger. According to the pharmacopoeia, it should increase your energy and focus, though, in your experience, it's only done the opposite. If only you could find one of these right now. Would you like to try again? Very well. Next, you'll need to combine the base ingredient with an appropriate vehicle.
Okay, let's boil it with a tea made from birch bark.
Lastly, Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Pomegranate seeds.
You've created a delicious tincture of whiskey and gin. If only you could. Would you like to try again?
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try a bunch of combinations. I might do a little bit of editing here so I don't drive you guys nuts. I'm just going to go in a very systematic manner like I have been going. And if I come up with something unique that gives me different dialogue or anything like that, I will let you guys know. Oh, no. Oh, no. This eats up a ridiculous amount of time trying these things out. Wow, I advanced many hours doing that, I think. So I'm going to put this on hold for now. I might revisit it in a future episode, but I am scared of wasting all my time. No, this stuff is all a bunch of hooey anyway.
You close the book and find yourself staring at the familiar cover once more.
Alright, let me put the book away. Oh no, I didn't see that. I was like trying combinations and I was like, I wonder how much time this spends. And it's like every time you try one, I think it spent 15 minutes or something. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's super late. Look at that. Look how much time has advanced from doing that. Oh no. I did not mean for that to happen. Well, let me go on over to the... No, I want to go over to the Fisherman District, which is to the south. I could teleport there, but I want to investigate some of the regions leading up to it again. So I want to manually run there. Let's see if there's anything in this area. Let me check one of these traps.
The trap is full of locusts, but they seem weak and unhealthy. A few lie on their backs with their legs twitching. Still, no phasmid. Poor things.
Alright, let me keep going. Anything here? Oh, there's a little bit of cash I missed here.
This is it. The scene of the party. The fire pit. Cigarettes and empty bottles all evidence it.
Yeah, sure does look like a lot of folks partied here.
Looks like they were here a while. Judging from all the bottles, the sunken motor carriage provided them a focal point. Like a goose ice sculpture or a chocolate fountain.
Hey Kim, look. Looks like we found a couple of partygoers here.
Looks like it.
This was some kind of theater to them, a circus production by a great clown.
Hey, let's keep moving, detective.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses.
Somehow, he doesn't want to dwell on it.
Okay, let me grab more money here. And let me check to see if there's anything else I can do around. No. Let me go up here. Or let me go in this little area, make sure I didn't miss anything there. I'm really trying to really go over everything here and make sure that I've not missed anything significant. It's the completionist in me, I can't help it.
Rust peels off the bent iron posts of the swing. The wind whistles through the skeleton of the small house behind you. There's desolation everywhere. Yet someone used to live here, laugh here. Thought it was a good idea to build a swing, even.
What happened here?
In this yard?
The lieutenant looks at the small building. A flock of gray swallows takes off in the distance.
He's assessing the situation. How long ago was it abandoned?
Someone thought they could have a summer house in a bloc obscur for cheap. It didn't work out. They abandoned it about a decade ago.
Wait, what's a bloc obscur?
A black bloc. A part of the city left unrenovated after the war. Or one that has fallen to gang violence. Or has become inhospitable in some other way.
On aerial photos, block obscures look like dark squares, hence their name.
So this part of the coast is a bloc obscur?
Practically, it's not an official term in any way, but look around. No sewage, broken power lines, crime, drums. Life is tough in the blocks. It's no place to build a summer house.
Maybe they left something useful behind.
Yes, For you to scavenge like a post-apocalyptic scavenger who collects trash and errant magnesium blisters.
He gives you a weary smile.
It's not meant as nagging, just an observation.
We should move. I don't think our suspect is in this particular yard. No place to hide. And besides, it's too close to Martinez.
The wind is corralled by the 4-story building around this yard. Okay, nothing else here. Alright, let me go down then. Wow, this is really bad. It was like 4 o'clock when I started reading that book, and now it's 7:09. Dang it. Oh well, what are you gonna do? You live and you learn. You live and you learn, detective. Let me look in here again. Nothing here. I don't know, this place is very mysterious. There's something about this place that feels like it should be important, but there hasn't really been anything in here. Let me keep going, though. Let me talk to the homeless people. See if they know anything about Ruby.
Uncle. Uncle.
The drunk man speaks in his sleep. Drool dribbles from the left side of his mouth and down his jacket lapel. Hey, wake up.
There's no waking him from his stupor. His mind is elsewhere.
The legend! He's back. And firstly, I got smokes and piss and a little speed to spice things up.
Amphetamine?
Hi, by amphetamine I mean speed.
I think it didn't hear me when I said I'm a police officer.
Sure did, buddy boy. That's why I said amphetamine. I mean speed. I mean amphetamine. I got both.
While the grand bourgeois in La Delta are so rich, they literally float above the law. This merry company crawls so far beneath. They too are rendered virtually untouchable. The beauty of extremities.
Right, got it.
Good, my man. Now what can I offer you?
I'm off.
Tequila Sunset.
He nods in appreciation. So I already went through all these stories with him. I'm not going to have him repeat them. I will say, though, have you seen a red-haired woman named Ruby around here lately?
Can't really remember seeing any women after losing my keys.
It's a touchy topic. He hasn't got laid in ages. He really has no idea who this Ruby is, sire.
Okay, be seeing you then. Let me go up here. Maybe I can ask the children. Children have a way of saying things they shouldn't, so...
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other watches him do it.
Kids, have you seen any bad people around?
What bad people?
One of the twins looks up, his mouth slightly open.
I don't think questioning 4-year-olds without their parents present is gonna crack the case.
Bye, kids. Take care. Maybe Lily. I have a good bond with Lily. Oh, what's this? I missed this thing. A book. A primer for small kids. Alright, Lily.
Hello, mister.
The nitpicker's daughter waves at you. Do you know anyone named Ruby?
Ruby. Ruby.
Suddenly, the girl gets all serious and leans in as if she's about to tell you a secret.
My mom tells me I'm a big girl, but she doesn't know that I can't say Earl. Or sometimes I can, but then Uller.
This little Lily girl is totally adorable in this game.
Kids.
The lieutenant shakes his head. Goodbye.
Bye!
The girl's large, curious eyes remain fixed on you.
Is that the phasmid? It looks like the phasmid, leaning against the wall.
Where at? I guess you can't visually see it here.
Wait, What if this is the fishing rod situation all over again?
What fishing rod situation? There was a fishing rod comment over where Everard is, but it didn't really go anywhere. I'm gonna try to sneak up on the phasmid.
It's not the phasmid. It's not even organic. It's a fire iron. How disappointing.
I can't believe it.
Right? You'll have better luck next time, though. The phasmid, finding it is your destiny.
Give the dream of discovering the Insulinian phasmid a rest for now. Okay, let me get out of here. I already talked to her about Ruby. See about Joyce.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
She pats her wet raincoat. She looks at the ripples on the water surface.
All around you, rain keeps falling down. On the wooden boards she's standing on, and on the water around you.
I could use a coat like that. The rain is freezing.
Sadly, I need this one myself. It's hydrophobic, repels water, almost magically. The company makes them for offshore platform personnel. Very sturdy. What I can do for you is answer some questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day.
So I've been dealing with Everard again. She nods with well-contained curiosity.
She's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to just say.
Let me see what I want to go. He asked me to open a door.
A referral, you mean? I take it this was for someone in the RCM. Don't answer that.
She waves her hand. No, I mean like a real door to someone's house.
Oh my. A real door?
The lieutenant does not say anything, but you hear the nylon of his jacket rustle as he looks at you.
It had to be done. I got information. It was useful to the case.
That's good to hear, Detective. Police work is rarely pretty, but it sounds like you did what you had to do.
Frankly, what was done was not pretty at all, but neither was it illegal, and it was not for nothing.
He turns to you.
I advise you to be very selective with what information you choose to share. This may have consequences beyond our line of sight.
Everett says the Wild Pines sent mercenaries after the Union, and now one's dead.
Misinformation. This is all because we haven't shared information on the lynching yet. See? Already the adversary uses it to their advantage. Don't let him.
She shakes her head vigorously.
Hurry up on that probe. The moment you tell me you're finished at the traffic jam, I will gladly tell you the company's side of the story.
She was worried for a moment that she's overplayed her hand by not sharing info sooner. Then she settles down, curious to hear more.
Everett asked the Union's militant wing to fully cooperate with the investigation.
How benevolent. Hopefully they'll help you sort this whole business out, if they haven't already.
While we appreciate your assistance, ma'am, I'm afraid we can't discuss the specifics of an ongoing investigation with you.
That is only fair.
Let's take a look. I have reason to believe the lynching was a cover-up.
Oh my. Very interesting. So the militant wing is protecting one of their own. It looks like you may untie this knot yet.
Her eyes smile and a tingle runs down your spine.
There's something in you that really likes the way she's looking at you just now.
The Union's militant wing organized the lynching.
Yes. That's the talk about town. The Hardy Boys, they're called. Find the name rather amusing, honestly.
A crooked smile returns to her face. That's all I've got to say.
Naturally, Detective. There are lighter topics to gossip about.
He asked me to deliver an envelope.
Sounds like he has you running errands, Detective. A well-established dominance ritual. Where did he have you deliver it?
Here.
Here? Oh no. What does that bloated hellbat want with my little cinder block town?
It's clear the village has already grown dear to her. Strangely so. Why did she come here?
No, don't tell me. I don't want to know what he has in store for this place. Probably a statue. It's a statue, right? A giant statue of him. Or better yet, his twin brother. Practically the same thing, but makes him seem less like a psychopath.
You're quite fond of this village, aren't you?
I should be. In my youth, I had a brief dalliance here in Martinez. He was an older man with impossibly broad shoulders.
She nods. There's that crooked smile again.
He's probably dead by now. Even his shack is long gone. Not that it matters. These buildings are all carbon copies of one another.
You've been to Martinez before?
Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats and... Don't hold it against me. My paramour certainly did not.
Sounds like you missed those times.
Not overly so. It's not like this was the only place we visited. Me and my girlfriends from Azon with our shiny boats. Like reavers. We told ourselves we were the worst thing to happen to the coast since the Coalition landed in '08. Imagine.
She tosses her head.
Oh no, she's sentimental, all right. Why would she come here otherwise?
Why did you come here then? To this jetty?
I'm over-radiated, Harry. I do silly things sometimes. Out of Pale-related illness. Like sail over here. The moral of the story is...
She lists.
Do not spend 22 days a year in Pale transit. Don't waste your 20s slumming it with your stupid friends. And don't deliver Everard Clare's mail.
Her bony finger is pointed like an arrow at your chest.
Are you satisfied, Detective? What else can you tell me about your mail delivery quest for Everard? Do you think it will improve the place?
She's pointing it quite hard in there. Feels like a knife.
He wants to build a youth center here for the children of Martinez.
A youth center with Edgar Clare's statue on top of it.
She looks down the jetty remorsefully.
The humidity crawls under your skin. Your eyes track her gaze, past the net pickup, toward the concrete square of the nameless village off the coast of Martinez.
Gonna close my eyes.
The concrete plates cross to meet in an abstract shape. In them, small footprints, impressions left by rubber boots. Small rubber boots.
Go ahead. Help him. Make it so. I have no power to stop him.
What size boots do you wear, madam?
What? 35, I think. Why? I have mutant's feet. Very small.
You would prefer something else? Not a youth center?
First, there won't be a youth center. Whatever he's told you or the residents, it'll be something horrific. Perhaps even worse than a statue. So, yes, I do.
Like what?
A fishery. I've been speaking with Lillian here. She gave me the idea. The infrastructure is all here, and with my connections... Sadly, it's just one of the million things I'll never get round to. I just have to accept that I'll never be the rich candy girl who goes around solving people's problems with money.
So you're sad you can't buy the place?
Yes. I'm sad I'll never have the time, Detective. I've always wanted a dilapidating fishing village.
She is more defensive about it than usual.
Full of ghosts and ancient memories. Has this errand yielded you any information?
Mr. Everard, help me find my gun.
Stupendous. I didn't think he'd pull through.
She nods, more than a bit surprised. Check it out.
That's beautiful.
She inspects it.
Keeping her calm, perfect posture. Her eyes move across the muzzle keenly.
A Villiers 9mm. Front-loaded? 2 or 3 barreled?
3. It was not easy to get this gun back, I'll tell you that.
Villiers and LaSalle was one of the original 14 Indo-tribes of Revachol. Did you know? Artillery and ballistics. Before the revolution, of course. They belong to some Gottwalders now.
She phrases it as if it's a pity. She also phrases it as a transition out of you waving your gun around.
What else? It helps to sometimes hold inventory of the things you've achieved, you know. Clears the soul.
Ma'am, this whole thing is a takeover.
A takeover?
Yes, it's not a strike. You aren't being let in because there's nothing to negotiate. The Union is taking the terminal.
If they're taking it...
She looks toward the colorful mountain of crates, like toy blocks rising above Martinez.
Green livery, changing into red, blot by blot. Like a cancer of the blood, metastasizing.
Then we're talking about a war. Everett needs to let me into the harbor at once. We need to talk about this.
I can ask him to let you in.
No. It's naive of me. He sent you. This is the negotiation now. And if he does not avert his course, it will be a war negotiation, detectives.
War is their goal. They think they can win before you even know it started.
An insane goal. Cornell has 1,000 men on their payroll. The next batch will be a platoon of 20 men and a gunship. You can't simply trick them.
Her eyes return to you.
I've seen the Union's forces. They are better organized than these mercenaries. They also have the support of the people of Revachol West. It will take more than Cornell to wipe them out. Wild Pines will need to send more and better equipped men. Make no mistake, ma'am. I am sure you have the money. The question is, how many years and how many lives are you willing to sacrifice?
What do you suggest I do?
First, will this affect your decision-making process?
Everything affects the decision-making process, detective.
Officer?
The look on the lieutenant's face conveys uncertainty. He doesn't even sound angry.
For once, I don't seem to know what the right thing to do is.
I wish there was a disco option.
I'm afraid we won't disco our way out of this one.
It's apocalypse o'clock. Time to commence the gloaming.
Maybe so, detective. But that doesn't mean we are not obliged to try and stop it.
The lieutenant looks at his own watch and sighs.
He's right. There will be slow, simmering, hideous civil war. The beginnings of a failed state. No apocalyptic rapture, just ugliness.
So what are you going to do?
What will I do?
She says, slowly looking around.
Her arms fall to her sides. Her spine relaxes.
Did I ever tell you how they discovered this Isola? During our reality lowdown?
I think she did, but maybe not. You said you would one day.
It may be the only break we've ever caught as a species. The last one for 400 years.
Why?
The nations who colonized this Isola called theirs Muindi, the world. It was all they knew, all they thought would be. That there would be something more was a gamble, akin to another world, or life after death. The Pale was thought to be impregnable, perpetual. Irene la Navigateur, the Queen of Suren, sent 8 expeditions, one after the other, into the mass at the edge of the world. 5 of the crews did not return. 2 did, but had lost their minds.
Each of those expeditions would have been led by an admiral. Sounds like a purge. Like she was purging her political rivals.
Sounds political.
There was no precedent for such an undertaking. People thought she was punishing the admirals, or had gone mad, or both.
She nods.
Until after years of trial and error, and the development of a strict psychological regime imitating the creation process of poetry.
Called Volta do Mar, or Return from the Sea.
That's in Portuguese.
The 8th expedition returned sane and intact. They told of a new continent of matter. They told the Queen and her counselor, Dolores Day, that the Pale had begun to condense, day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute, slowly raining down until it formed a vast ocean.
The air is cold and scented with petrichor. There are rain circles on water all around. Humidity crawls up your back like a piano trill.
Put your hand in the rain.
So does the lieutenant. His mouth is slightly open as he looks to the sky. The droplets feel warm, like spring rain.
This ocean?
The phenomenon has never again been encountered. For a time, the crew thought they were experiencing a hallucination. The mass hand proclaimed, "Lancielinde, Lancielinde," the signal to wake up. But they could not. They were sane and conscious, as islands began to appear on the horizon. There are 78,000 uninhabited islands in the Insulindian archipelago, officer. The freckled face of God.
She smiles.
You've thought it a million times.
After life, death. After death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again.
A total shift in human comprehension of reality. On the second day, a great skua was shot down above the flagship Lizargique. The bird was preserved and brought back, along with pollen. 4 years later, the Queen's Counsellor was proclaimed Her Innocence Dolores Day, the elected world spirit. The age of humanism, internationalism, and parliamentary rule followed. We were high.
It's raining.
It is. Soon it will be spring and everything will blossom.
She pulls the hood over her head.
The gangs will run wild, jacking motor carriages, ferrying amphetamines through Coal City. Spring is tough in Revachol.
The great skua was the first bird they saw.
The first living, autonomous organism. Proof of reality. It's the symbol of Insulinde, Detective. The coat of arms of the suzerain and the wings on the crest of the commune.
I seem to have it in for it. Or it for me. I broke one.
In your defense, it is a nasty creature who plucks food from the throats of lesser birds. Yet much like Revachol, it is also magnificent. And rare. Imagine the suzerain of seagulls.
There was a sting in your heart at the mention before, when she said its name.
Leaving us here.
On Caillou. The Pebble. The largest of the fertile, uninhabited islands of the northeast Insulindian archipelago. 4 centuries and 2 revolutions later.
She studies your reaction. And this was the last break we got?
The nations of Mundi proceeded to discover 5 more Isolae. Or they discovered us. All in the rush of the great inter-Islary reconnection. But these others weren't uninhabited. We had to kill people there. Wipe out indigenous populations. Gunboat economies. Or they came to do the same for us. Or had done to each other. But here,
She spreads her arms.
there was no one but the skua, the Liliat Sea, and the Blood Beach, and the River Esperance. It was the new world. The Mondials used it to amass the greatest concentration of wealth mankind has ever seen. Revachol, the suzerain,
What happened?
revolution, poverty, and the mercurial rise of capitalism.
She nods. What will you do?
I will surrender Terminal B to the Union.
Is that within your means?
She puts her hand in the rain. She's silent for a second.
We will see.
Ma'am, this may well unravel property law this side of the river. If that occurs, we may never see the end of this kind of confrontation. The next time there will be 2 strikes, then 4, then 100.
He looks toward the harbor.
What happens will happen.
She takes the end of her rain-slick hand and starts untying the knot.
The age of capital has only begun. I will talk to my employers in person. We will amputate and cauterize Martinez. If you handle the situation on the ground.
Interesting. So there's a red check here, 92%. I can say you're going now, understood, or we. She generally avoids that term with her employers.
You know what this lady needs? Some political advice. Even though she's a high-powered corporate executive and you're an amnesiac degenerate, you're pretty sure she needs to hear your opinion on this.
Can't believe I failed that check. That really sucks. Don't forget to purge the world of degenerates.
I will try to do so, Harry. If not for you, then for Revachol.
She smiles. Good.
Is it?
She tugs on the rope.
Keep the peace, and I will keep my end of the bargain.
How far along is Cronell's investigation?
The confrontation is imminent. They have followed in your footsteps. As your investigation reaches a climax, so does theirs. They are your shadow. Arm yourselves. Armor yourselves. Protect their targets. Violence may be unavoidable, but we can limit the casualties.
When will they make their move? Where?
Soon. I do not know precisely. They have cut off all communication, you see. They know I've been feeding you information. One last thing, Lieutenant Dubois. I've given the matter much thought and come to this conclusion. You're not an amnesiac. You're insane.
She starts the engine.
I know, because I, too, am insane. I just hide my illness better. And I'm rich.
You're over-radiated?
I'm overexposed, baby. My travels take me through the Pale dozens of times a year. I've got the longing. And I've got it bad.
She points to her heart.
She would die to return to it. The Pale, the past, anything one can return to.
How do you keep your shit together?
The same strict psychological regimen the 8th Admiral developed when he crossed the Pale and discovered this Isola, the Volta do Mar. It's used by inter-Islary travelers and other troubled souls, even to this day.
You could use a little of it yourself.
Isn't everyone a little insane?
No, Detective. No one's as insane as you.
Don't worry, madame. I am very sane.
Goodbye, nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp.
Watch out for yourselves. They will strike soon.
The lieutenant watches her boat grow smaller on the bay, its white sails fluttering. With worry in his eyes, he does not know if it was the right thing to do, but he doesn't say anything. Slowly, the sails turn grey-blue as more oxygen gets between you.
Super interesting. Something's big is about to go down. Something big is about to go down. Let me take a look at this. I'm at 98% for Cop of the Apocalypse, which seems fitting after that conversation that I'm about to unlock this. Let me take a look at this new one, The Insulindian Miracle. You were reminded of a poem somewhere deep inside of you, the translation of which you don't remember. Nulla sarà cambiato della luce. It begins. That is in Italian. I think it says, nothing will be changed from the light. Colori come grigio e marrone. Tutti stampati uno sull'altro. Trovai un vuoto, una macchina bianca. Gli altri guardarono. Che bella giornata, che bel tempo. Ma sentì la rotativa. You were reminded of it when you heard about the discovery of Insulinde. But what does it mean? And how do you know it by heart? Yeah, this is definitely Italian. Yeah, nothing will be changed from the light, I think. And then colors like gray and brown. Everything. Stampati, I'm not sure what that means. Everything. Something. One over another. Find Vuoto. I don't know what Vuoto is. A white car. The other Guardarono. I don't know what that means. What a beautiful journey. What a beautiful time. But I felt the rotation, maybe? I don't know. I'm trying to translate these French, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian phrases. But I'm not 100% on them. Anyway, that's that. Sorry for that little distraction there. Also got that book. I'm not gonna click any of these because I want them to remain purple or orange, so I know which ones I have not read. And then, yeah, okay, good. Yeah, we're running out of tasks here. So let me go over to the to the factory, because I think that's where Ruby is. I think I had a thought that said that she's over there, the Feld factory. And then there's also that guy with his son there. Maybe they saw Ruby. Maybe they know something. I don't know. We go this way here. Forgot how to get there. That's a Noland Vinsync, an unsuccessful model. What is this? The beams are splintered. The bridge didn't collapse on its own. Artillery broke it. So there was a man with his son here, but I don't know. I guess they left.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
Let me step closer.
Above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are cracking and will soon also fall, and the coastal breeze rustling and sighing in the remains of the edifice. Feld Electrical. How ironic, all these dark rooms. Feld Electrical, you only know them as a small company that makes ink cartridges. Looks like they used to be big. There's something in the wind. Sometimes the only way to go forward is to fail first.
Why do I feel like I know this place?
Indeed, somehow you knew it was here. An urban ruin gutted by looters that once used to consume money and dispense warmth and light. You felt it before, when it rained in Martinez, and you felt the cold of the rain. The feeling persists. It has been in you ever since.
Could Ruby be in there?
In there? She could. Or she could be in the identical room over there, or in that boat shack, in that church tower, maybe.
So we're at 97%, which is as high as you can get it. So I guess it's from all the investigative work that I've done. I found the empty trap. I heard Lena's true story, went on a date, reconstructed execution, made the awful call, confronted the pigs, established a nightclub, discovered the anomaly, death notification, and found the jacket. So this kind of looks like an endgame check to me. It makes me feel like we're getting towards the end of the game. But let me listen to the wind here.
Even though you're sure you succeeded, all is quiet. There is no cold hand brushing against your forehead, no rustle in the reeds. The wind has died down. The ruin in front of you is silent as a tomb.
What was I even attempting to do here?
Trying to talk to the wind, the city, whatever you thought would happen, did not. And now you're just standing there, in the dusk hour, with your hands fallen to your side. A prayer of sorts, to Revachol.
She could be anywhere. How do we find her?
How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. Okay. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. We already scanned most of the outdoor areas on our wild cryptid hunt, so we have an understanding of the geography, at least.
He looks north.
And then there's the church. We've already searched that and can rule it out. I know it doesn't feel like progress, but exclusion is a step too. Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did in the village.
And if that fails, if we don't find her?
Then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drainage, this place. I'm sure it won't come to that.
He looks behind him at the dark red box crumbling across the chasm.
Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here and talk to the wind again. Look where it already got you.
Let me listen to the wind again. And yeah, 97% and all the same bonuses there.
Suddenly, there's a sigh, carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath, flowing through it.
Where does it go?
In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs, and then the beach below the boardwalk, its winding tunnels, a whisper away.
What is happening?
She's down there.
I think she's down there, below this building.
Okay. Why?
The wind told me.
So, how do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically.
Finally, my time to shine.
There's a ladder next to the sign. Perhaps we can climb it? Enter through the roof?
Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old, and I plan to live to see 70.
There has to be a way to use brute force. Climbing sounds unsafe. Brute force is safe. Look around and find something to break if the ladder fails.
So I finished Cop of the Apocalypse.
Cop of the Apocalypse. It's not fire. It's not ash. There will most certainly be a sea of corpses leading up to the event. But it won't be war or pestilence that causes it. Oh no, the event will belong to a genre of cataclysm no man has dared to suspect would ever come to pass. You can only sense the shape of it, like a cavity, a pit opening up in your stomach, a throat into which the world will vanish. The streets, the grass, the stars, all will be rolled back. By whom, by what, and how, you don't know. All you know is, you're not joking around.
Learning cap for Inland Empire raised to 6 and learning cap for Shivers raised to 6. That's kind of useless. Kind of useless. And that's it. I can't put any more thoughts in here unless I get rid of some. Interesting. So let me look at some of these. So learning for perception is up to 5. Speeds gives 1 psi. Yeah, I don't know. I might mess around with this later, but it's a little bit of a shorter episode, but I think this is a very conclusive spot for it. With the Cop of the Apocalypse finishing, we're kind of figuring out where Ruby is. I think it's all kind of culminating to a climax. So we're going to stop here. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Be sure to leave a like on the video. I greatly appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed, please do. I bring all this great content for free. Doesn't cost you anything. All I ask is that you keep me motivated by subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Thanks for stopping by the Renaissance Gaming Monastery. I hope you join our community on Discord and Twitter. These videos are produced with a lot of hard work and love. If you think they're worth $1, I'd be grateful for your contribution. You can send a thanks donation or become a member on YouTube. You can also support through PayPal, Patreon, or even with cryptocurrency. All links are in the description. See you on the next video.